So meanwhile, you and I can just chit chat, talk it up. Last time, I had tons of questions and stuff. Um, Tons of questions and people writing, wanting the scan. So we'll see where that goes. If we do the scan, uh, I will read their stuff on my phone, and then I'll read it to you and everyone else in the public, and then we can go just see whatever comes up, and you'll help, like, support me, give me like more info, insights, and what do you think in the whole picture, what's up. We could also try inviting someone else, like sending third person the link, and just that live deep dual scan I've mentioned, the freebie where we do live thing onto someone, could do that, we'll see. But just saying, like, brainstorming, whatever.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe do that later after we get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Think of somebody like maybe Charlie, or
Anyone works.
somebody.
Or you want someone easy?
Somebody, anyone is fine.
Would like to leave a good impression first. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. What are some of the things you've been researching over the weekend?
Well, I've been looking a lot at the walk-in phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot about it and there's very little. There's a lot to know about it, but there's very little known about it or written about it.
Right.
As far as I know, the only one I know that's really covered it well is Jaden Fox, and he really knows his stuff. But there are some other weird phenomena about it, details. So
Any specifics? Like what stood out to you the most, like recent thing?
When a walk-in walks in, let's say it's clean, and the walkout walks out, there's going to be a transition period, and it's going to be emotionally weird, because the walk-in isn't going to know he's a walk-in, and the walkout doesn't know they're walking out normally. And even if you know about the subject, you still can't tell. But you go back and forth, the different aspects of self, new you, old you, and old you really wants out of here and is not happy about things, and new you is pretty excited about what's up, what are we doing now, and back and forth, and it can be emotionally distressful. So the sooner you can understand the phenomena and recognize that it might be happening to you, then the better off you're going to be. And then if you know what to do next, even better, to clean it up and help the old you leave. Sometimes old you left, and now you're sitting here with the baggage or the issues of old you and new you, and you're still psychologically blended so much with the character that is the body and the life of the body, that it still can be a challenge, even if you know a lot about it. So it's just one more weird thing that's going on planet Earth. It's making it difficult for humanity.
Makes sense. What are the signs, by the way? You mentioned that it's important to recognize the signs and be aware of it.
Okay. Some of the signs are weird memory stuff. You don't remember stuff. And this is because when you take over the life, you get you could access the entire memory set through the body's memory, because the body has it all stored. But normally there's different minds and different frequencies which we access those past life memories. So normally we have this one aspect of our mind, or where we access our memories, our childhood and all this stuff. Well, when the old guy leaves and the new guy comes in, you've got a memory swap, or this guy takes only key moments or key areas of the life, and it's like in RAM, so to speak, and the rest of that stuff will be on the hard drive and it's a real slow load,
Right.
I might say. So you can scan your life, and it feels like you remember everything because you remember the key moments, and you know, yeah, I remember, I remember when I was a little kid, when I was a teenager, 20s, blah blah blah. But when you really look close, it might only be key moments.
Mhm.
So there's that as a symptom. And then there's that thing about, losing interest in everything, that sense of wanting to leave. Mm, and there's about 14 uh, symptoms uh, total. But if you get about 7 or 8 of those symptoms, it's likely you're a walk-in. Anyway.
Have you looked through those symptoms? And I mean, you mentioned you're walking. How could you tell?
Well, it's weird. So I can pull up those. Let me pull up
Yeah.
the
Well,
symptoms.
while you do, I've noticed some similarities. You've talked about, the body having the memories. And let's say when we dream and we tune into our other aspects or the lives in other realities, it's like you kind of somewhat, I wouldn't call it like necessarily forgetfulness, but what you knew about life on Earth doesn't become as important as we think it is. And the life of that aspect, like you have all the memories. If you just ask yourself what's going on, you will have the knowingness. So it's not like you have to look through everything, but as a walk-in, because let's say physical body falls asleep here, our consciousness connects to another aspect, and we just happen to play from that point of view of whatever is going on in the story of another aspect, however long it has lived. You just connect at, let's say, year 75 or year 34, and you just continue the story, having the knowingness, but you're not necessarily have all the access to it right away. Not like it's flashing before your eyes and you have the whole memory, but you just ask yourself a question about what happened, or like, who am I? What am I doing here? And you will have the knowingness, but you have to look at it. So is it similar for a walk-in?
Well, for a walk-in, one of the aggravating things about being a walk-in is this life is full of challenges. It's nonstop, and it's never gonna stop as far as I can
Right.
see. So when a walk-in walks in, and finally sorts it out, helps the previous occupant leave. If there's any other weird shit, clean that up. And now the challenge is to differentiate the character or the being. It's like who I was before I got here, and why did I come here? It's all unknown, but now that you do know you're a walk-in, so that must have been a thing. So you don't want to take on the previous occupant or the body's issues, but it comes natural. It's what you do. You take on the character and you become this new character. So that character has issues. All right. So
Right.
the challenge is to not stir up your own great consciousness and trigger your own shit as the new guy while you're living in this new body that has all this old stuff that is a thing. Every inhibition is there, every desire, every problem, concern. That stuff doesn't really go away because it's in the body. Or it can be in the previous occupant, and the occupant leaves, but you take on his mindset. So there's the mindset of the previous occupant, and there's the mindset of the body. And you're the new guy, and the idea is to come in clean and clean things up and start the new project, whatever that happens to be. Either it's have fun or you're on a mission to do something, doesn't matter. But that's a fucking challenge.
Right.
And the hard part for me has been the previous occupant had all this stuff, worked it out, came out feeling really good, did it, then he leaves. He's like, okay, I'm done here. It lasts a few months or whatever. He's gone. And then you wake up the next day feeling like, if he's stuck, he says, I want out of here. I go, but yesterday I was feeling so good. I was on top of the world. I go, yeah, well, and now you're all fucked up. And it's like, why am I not interested in anything? Well, previous occupant won the game. Done. I'm out of here. I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. I'm not interested in what I was all excited about yesterday. That's old guy. New guy's going, well, I'm taking on the body. It's like there's three parties here.
Oh boy.
So the body's going like, what are we doing? Well, yesterday we were all excited about life and things were looking good, and now I want to fucking die and I want to leave. I'm talking to myself about what the fuck's going on here and who's running this show. So the new guy has to clean it all up all over again, and does, and then leaves.
Oh boy.
So
What a mess.
This has been going on, and it's gone on enough, and I have enough experience with the stuff, 30 years of entity work of one kind and another. I understand the phenomena well enough to just get my shit in trouble, really. It's like, now what do we do? And over and over and over again, I'm learning more and more about the phenomena, but it's really a handful. So
I hear ya.
yeah.
So what are those symptoms or signs that one could be a walk-in?
Oh, okay.
While you're launching, I'm just gonna
Recording in
click additional
progress.
recording on Zoom. I have it running on Streamlabs and other places, but just in case, like, we need 4 more versions.
I know, right? Not recording it on my side, just in case.
Knowing how the tech works.
Okay, so here's this. We could screen share this, but the checklist is 1. If you answer yes to these questions, and so I am on a spiritual path, on an awakening journey. Yes. Okay. And that's self-explanatory. 2, I sense many odd things in my life, but I can't think about them. In other words, that can go 2 ways. You like weird things about time. Some days, like, it's just been a long fucking day and it's not even noon yet. It's still morning. This is weird. Just all kinds of little
And
odd things.
here's a question to it. Let's say this timing thing happens to a lot of people, but how often do you need to notice some oddities around? Or do you wake up one morning, say, oh, well, I woke up at 6 and now it's 11, but I felt like the whole day has passed and this is odd, so I'm a walk-in. Like, once doesn't count, right?
No. There's about 14 of these things. And if you're a walk-in, you're going to be clicking off probably 10 or 12 of them. But yeah, a lot of odd things. Incomplete memories of childhood. Yeah, that's the thing. I work hard at that to maintain those
Right.
memories, but still there's there's blank spots. I have those highlights. Number 4 is I've had dramatic life changes. So yeah, that that could be a thing. Feelings of wanting to die or not be here. Thoughts about suicide. That's kind of cheating. It's almost the same thing, but that's number 6. Number 7, big one. I experienced times in my life when nothing was important or mattered. It's like one day you wake up all excited and you're working on your projects and you're doing really well, and then next morning you wake up and it's like nothing, not interested. Feel free to interrupt anytime if we got
Sure.
people. So next one is sometimes I'm not sure who I am. Life feels confusing.
Which one is it?
it's for me,
Number
it's
eight
it's one number 8
number
is
8.
sometimes I'm not sure who I am. Life feels confusing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not right. And if it's me, it's like I get it. There's the walk-in new guy, there's the walk-out old guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the body character, the personality that is Rich. He's always here. So he's like, you guys figure it out, really, will you? Because I'm not going anywhere. Who's the boss? So that's a big one. I don't know what my passions or interests are, and life is flat. This is because the passions of the walkout are not going to be the same as the new guy. So it's a little flat until you sort it out. And that's number 9.
Mm-hmm.
And number 10, I don't seem to be as connected to my family and friends anymore. Yep. Check. I had a major accident or illness, then my whole life changed. That one didn't happen to me.
Which one is it?
But
Sorry.
That's number 11.
11. Right.
Okay.
And that's about it.
No, there's
okay.
There's
Go on.
16 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. 12 is I keep trying to make sense of my life. Many things just don't make sense. Well, yes, I'm still trying to make sense of my life. I think everybody is. This place is extremely complex.
Right.
So, number 13, the thought of being born a baby sounds like too much work to me. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Doesn't everybody feel that way? But anyway, number 13, number 14. I keep retelling my past stories. Yeah, anybody over 60s does that. But there's more. But they have no emotion in them. It's like the new walk-in guy is telling the stories of the memory of the body.
Yes.
But not really feeling it. There was that long bridge in Arizona. It was frozen over.
Your favorite story, right?
Yeah.
That was my favorite story.
Yeah. Truck wreck. Oh, big old truck wreck. I saved lives. Oh, you did? Again?
75th times now.
Okay. So that's symptom number 15 is I'm not being able to make decisions, choose, create, or have direction. Now, I'm not sure if I having problems with decisions, choosing, or creating events. So I'm not really sure which way to go on that one. That might be a symptom. I might want to check that out. Not sure.
There you go.
Okay, and the last symptom. A part of me wants to, another part of me doesn't. Just generally speaking. Yeah, no. No. And it all has, that's it. That's the symptoms. If you answer yes to 7 or more, you're most likely a walk-in with entanglement issues, says Jaden Fox, and I tend to agree.
I had like 3 of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. You're not a walk-in. Yay.
Who knows? Might change any day now. Hoping for it.
Get me out of here. No, it's not everybody. But those who do have it, I made quite a few videos on it because I feel for people. It's feeling for myself, for me. But then I'd start feeling for other people. There's other people who's got this problem.
So there's a walk-in, but there's also like a slamming phenomena.
Yeah.
What is that?
So you guy's gonna walk in, he's gonna walk out. And just before he walks in, you go, some other entity goes, slams into him, but he doesn't catch it. It happens in subtle way or so quickly or just before he gets in that he doesn't remember it. It happened, and now he's compromised. He's in the body with the walkout, not walked out yet. This entity, usually a regressive ET, doesn't have to be, but usually it'll be a reptilian consciousness or gray consciousness. They're not in their physical forms when they do it. They're in
Right.
an astral, sentient, spiritual form. Anyway, and now they compromise. Now you go in, and now it's a real party in here. There's the body, the walk out, the walk in, and this slam in entity. And he will, and all the consciousness and the memories and thoughts of all four feel like one. It feels like one person just talking about it and thinking about it, because you can't really tell the difference between your thoughts, the walkout's thoughts, the body's thoughts, or the slam-in's thoughts. It can be really confusing.
That's one of the things I notice with some of the people we tend to work with, or I tend to work with. It's like, not everyone has it, but there's gonna be few who are not alone in their body, and we're not talking just about the entities or the alters or like fragments of other people, but it's like another being, more like a slam-in. And it's quite often where you're talking to a person, you're seeing, their physical form, it's all fine, but if I would just consciousness shift and be in their room or in their space and scan them, it's like there's an overlay, as if there was a reptilian or a Draco within, like in the actual shape. And the person feel like not alone in the body, or like there's the reptilian or someone else's head in their head, and they're feeling headache, like they don't have enough space within. They're feeling like this pressure, or they're feeling some control, or they're trying to do stuff, and they lose control, or someone else takes over their body for a few seconds, does something physically. Mind alteration, where, it's like putting thoughts in their head, affecting how they feel, like what they feel, how they feel, amplifying certain emotions, making them react to some stuff, triggering them. And there's usually this personality overlay where people who interact with that person who has a slam-in, it's like they pick up not the person that they see, but that reptilian or Draco or Mantis or some other ET who got into their space. So this person is like all loving and kind and like trying to help co-workers and trying their best, like really working their ass off. And they're like, hey, well, no one recognizes me. I'm always alone. I'm always isolated. And I look into their stuff, and it's like there's this reptilian sitting within their body. At times, like not necessarily all the time. Like there are differences where someone can tune in, be there for a while, and leave, while others tune in and stay, like in the actual shape with you. And boy, some people are perceived as like complete like narcissists or psychopaths or aggressive, bully, like people cannot handle that person's energy. But it's not the person that is the ET that's sitting in the actual shape within the body, scaring the crap out of everyone. So, like, some people have like a lot of hardships because of that. Like they're like trying their best and like still getting a lot of pushback.
Yeah. So some of these, let's just take the reptilian one. For example. So it could be a slam-in, which would mean by definition, this particular reptilian that you're seeing is superimposed, came in when a walk-in came in. Okay, so we'd call that one a slam-in. If he stuck around and stayed the duration, right? That would he's in, he likes it, and he would take over the body like he did the queen's body or something.
Right.
If he could, it'd just be new Rich. What an asshole! I know, right? He is, isn't he? Yeah. Did you see his teeth? You see his eyes? Yeah, I saw that. Anyway, walk in. No, slam in. But if it's not a walk in, walk out scenario without a slam in, a reptilian in the astral form could still move in and superimpose and stay the duration. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's a phenomenon. But then the other phenomena is that didn't happen. Okay. The other half, it's like reptilian, whatever, for whatever reason, has targeted that person, and now they're in here with that cloaking sort of. They're putting that persona out. Whatever other people are seeing the icky personality of the reptilian beingness. And the poor guy on the inside doesn't even notice it necessarily. Something might be going on. He feels something, or he might see it. But anyway, so this is yet a third kind of reptilian possession thing. And this guy might stay for a while and then might leave. But he might stay a long time too. But different kind of reptilians would be coming into one's space for different reasons. Personal reasons, or they're working as a team, or working a mission, and their mission is to blah 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 with the individual that's been targeted. So there's several different scenarios that it could be.
Right.
Is that how you see it too?
Yeah, and sometimes it's also similar to ETs hanging around in someone else's space, ETs, entities, that consciousness shifting. You know how physical body falls asleep and we tend to tune in into some like another aspect we have. A lot of ETs have the tech to transfer their consciousness and kind of like access someone else, be in their space. So, trying to imprint people, alter their lives and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of varieties, and like you're saying, it would be kind of hard to pinpoint everything on that. Like if this is happening, it's only a slamming phenomena or the other one. Like there's so many cases where, for us, with so many possibilities and tech out there, it's really hard to understand what's really going on. So we have like a lot of like puzzle pieces, but we're trying to put a picture together.
Yeah. Somebody comes to us and they know they got an entity issue. Sometimes they can see them, sometimes they can hear them, sometimes they can feel them, sometimes all three. So it takes a while for us to sort out one, what the client can see, so we know how to work with the client. Are we doing all the work, or can the client see and talk to them and stuff? So all this stuff comes into play, and then when we get it sorted out, okay, now is this the priority, or is this some other bigger? You think that's bad? Then they finally tell you the real problem,
right?
And so the reptilian sitting over in the corner going, I thought I was going to get a lot of
right. Another interesting phenomena, like among what we're talking about, is like incubus and succubus, just because those guys affect a lot of people throughout day or night, doesn't really matter. But it's like when they get into our space, and it's not necessarily just what people would consider the nightly interactions where people get, sexually messed with, or, other stuff happens. But it's like now part of their beingness stays with the person. And one can get this incubus or succubus energy, alter personality, to where they start like becoming like a magnet, attracting the wrong kind of people. So throughout the night you've been attacked by succubus or incubus, you go out throughout the day, and now you start attracting like psychos and narcissists, and they want to hang out with you, they want to have sex. They're not necessarily like, hey, let's have a relationship, let's connect. They're more like, there's a goal, siphon your energy, trigger you, get something out of you, bye-bye. But they're gonna come in this way of teasing you, and like this sirens in the sea, they have this way of
beautiful voices.
Yeah, so you feel all enchanted and drowsing in all those memories and ideas and feelings they put into your head. It's like, okay, good luck.
Yeah, that whole incubus succubus thing is huge subject. There's so many dynamics and things. But yeah, the one you're just talking about, let's say you get this incubus, and the idea is that it gets into your space and it's doing things to you or with you, and maybe for guys, I guess girls do it too, but guys will go. Some guys, they're naive and don't know what the fuck. They go, oh, this sounds like a good idea. I'm going to go search online how to conjure up succubus. Okay, good luck with that, because it can be fun at first. And now the part where you're talking about, now they got their little girlfriend here, man, it's getting a little over frisky and bossy, and is not listening and just doing, just taking. But now the guy wants to get rid of it, but there's something about the character of this succubus that was, hey, I like that. This is what I want, give it to me, or to say, this is what I want, let me tell you exactly what it is, and you're going to give it to me. He kind of liked that about her character. Oh, now it can be any character phenomena, but it's like the guy himself will now be running around out there with that energetic frequency vibration. And on one level, he's going, no, I don't want to be that way. I don't want that thing in my life. But now he's being the same way the fucking weirdo sex demon was being. And now he's attracting people in his life, and it's causing problems.
I actually had this like real life encounter with a real succubus, but it's more like a person who was aware, who was doing what people call psychic work, or had this clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, like all that stuff, just hits off all the buttons, has been doing spiritual work, has been doing a lot of the tarot card readings, numerology, astrology, talking with spirit guides, like has a huge profile, but kind of messed with the wrong energies, played around, wants to have fun, gets taken over, and boom! Like, this woman was something. Like, there's a level of how much I can tolerate, and, I'm trying to be really tolerant. Like, if it's your style, if it's your lifestyle, you go, girl, you go, guy, good for you. But I was like, whoa, stay away from me, because this lady was, like, all over everyone. Whoever she sees, doesn't matter, guy or girl, she goes touchy-feely, flirty, everything. She goes and, we meet for the first time, she's going, hi, she's touching my face, and like, how it witness this, like, yo, stop, because that was too much, and it's like, just too much stuff happens. But the thing is, like, I've been working with her in the same space, like, we meet, like, a few times a week, there's a group of people, we work together, and I've been seeing her here and there, and for about half a year, I've done the work. And it took me a while to notice that there's a succubus, because I was like, that's a weird person, it's too much for me, like, I like, the energy and everything, I was like, I need some distance. But then I was, like, watching, and I talked to Kim, she gave me some insights, and I started, like, looking, and then I started seeing the succubus, like that I'm talking about right now. Once I started knowing, and that technique where you mentioned, like, you look someone in the eyes, and you have this knowingness, like, I know who you are. You have, like, complete, and I looked at her, I just like the whole thing, like, not doing anything, I'm just sitting there perceiving, but that look like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the work. Telepathically communicating with the succubus, while the person, like, lady, she just does her own stuff. Just communicating, and I was, like, talking, trying to have conversations, seeing if I can make a deal to kick her out, why is she sticking with the lady, what's up? Then I started, like, interacting with the lady, and it's like having various conversations in spiritual regards, like about soul contracts, about her life, past and stuff, and in it all, just dropping some key questions for both her and the succubus about the personality, about, like, some things they have in common agreements and stuff like that, to the point where that succubus had too much and left. And the lady changed. She comes in, acts completely different. No longer touchy-feely, grabby, flirty, and everything else. It's like her persona changed, but it became professional and very soft and very feminine. And she became super sweet and caring and loving, and even attracted more than she ever could, being all this different succubus, more like being. So, like, it was, like, very interesting encounter. But that was, like, a real-life experience to where you're not working with just an entity who comes in throughout the night, does something, but it was like someone who's staying with a person 24/7. That was tough. Wow. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
That was something. Oh, but, like, I work with quite a few people who have the incubus and succubus phenomena, and a lot of times it's not just the guys. A lot of girls are like that too, but it's more of like that damsel in distress. Or the girl has heard so many stories where in nature or the psychological regard, there's this like need for a hero or a prince or a knight on a white horse to be safe, to be cared for, and stuff like that. A lot of women fantasize about those scenarios where they want to be saved, they want help, they want those scenarios where they're in some really harsh situation and somebody saves her. And she can fantasize about it all day long. She can be like, oh, I'm at work and I'm having such a hard time, and here's this person she doesn't have no idea, and he comes and he cares for me, and like he gets me out of the situation, and we go for a drink of coffee or something. And I've had quite a few women who did that kind of thing. Just fantasize about being saved. Yeah. Whether saved by the boss at work or just meeting someone outside and stuff like that, they got contacted by the incubus. Fits all those standards. Can get her away from all the hardships at work and gives her the energy and the sexual pleasure. That's like few first nights or weeks are fun. But then it's like, okay, she had those needs met, done. Next thing, no, the incubus didn't give a damn. She's like, let's go, girl. And she was like, well, he keeps on touching me, he keeps on messing with me. Like, there's so many things where a lot of people will fantasize and create scenarios where they open the door, inviting someone else to fit that role. Someone else can come in and be that, but you no longer can get them out. As in, you're not aware of what's going on, and you're like, if you consciously invited that being, you have to consciously get it out. It's not going to be like, oh, what the hell's going on? And why is someone touching me? And why am I being sexually abused throughout the night and stuff? Like, just a lot of things happens.
Yeah, it sure does. Yep. Yeah, all kinds. One of the most profound ones that a friend of mine had going, she would wake up in the morning, like her eyes are closed, but she's wide awake. Now she feels this guy on top of her, doing her, and she feels his whiskers, so she knows, exactly, how much shave he's done, all this stuff, his hot breath on her cheek, everything. But if she opens her eyes, she can't see it. It's invisible. But, it's a classic, serious shit, man. It happened maybe once or twice a month. So, very real stuff. Just not perceived by everybody.
Yeah. A lot of times people will also use, drugs and psychedelics and other things that will burn their energy shield while they're doing something to attract the incubus and succubus. Whether it's just curiosity or wanting to have some of their needs satisfied, or just like, ooh, what's gonna happen if? And then they have done all the wrong shit to trigger it. Now they're being targeted and they can't get rid of it, and they're looking like, okay, how do I get rid of the incubus and succubus? So, as we're talking about this topic, what would be like some of the key tools or things you would suggest people they can do for themselves or they can use with others to get rid of the incubus and succubus?
I think the first thing is to be able to determine if that's what it is. And a lot of people will have the psychic abilities of one kind or another, and they can see it and feel it. Sometimes they can talk to it. It'll be telepathic, or they'll hear actual audio in their head. But that's the first step, identifying it. And then if you can identify it, then you want to be able to communicate to it. And you can do this on your own if you got the abilities, or you can do it with some help. But next thing you want to do is communicate with it. And then when you communicate with it, there's lots of things you can do, but you don't have to do it all usually. But you got all these things you can do in communication wise. Why are you here? What is your intentions toward me? When did you get here? What do we have in common? Is there a sex kink that you like that I like? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? No, sweetheart. Sorry to disappoint.
But this happens.
Yeah. So anyway, you communicate with it, and there's two things that are happening. You are waking up, not you, but the person is waking up more as they communicate with the entity, but you're also waking up the entity more, because it's, how we kind of run on automatic and just do shit without really thinking about it, and it was just and they will do that too. They're like that as well. So they're at different levels of awakefulness and intent themselves. So as you're talking to it, it's waking up more too. And it's going, oh, this motherfucker knows who I am and what I'm about. Now, at the foundation of all this is the consciousness that I am, or that you are, or that we are, is very powerful. And we have limited ourselves through consideration, agreement, beliefs, blah, blah, blah. So now we are thinking and believing that we are the victim of this sex entity. But as we wake up and we become more aware of who and what we are and how manifestation works, including the manifestation of these sex entities, they start seeing what we're fucking figuring out. And they're going, oh shit, he is the creator or the source of me. They might leave. But if they're a little more aggressive, no, he's never going to figure it out. He thinks he's got it. He thinks he knows his shit, and it'll stick around and fuck with you and try to go invisible or disappear on you. So there's a lot of questions you can do to track it down if it tries to leave, unveil it if it tries to hide itself, lots of different things. And it just gets more and more nervous or aware that you can undo it. And pretty soon it's okay, we're done here. I'll go somewhere else and play. But sometimes those agreements and beliefs are deep, and it takes a while for the individual to sort out their own stuff and how they are causing this to happen to themselves with some agreement or some decision or some belief system, some activities they were involved in, or some other aspect of themselves that they're connected with. I didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, but your dark side did. What dark side? The dark side you can't see right now, motherfucker. Yep. Oh, that dark side. Oh, okay. But that dark side could have been really involved in this sort of business. And somehow you connected with, what do you and the demon have in common? Your dark side. Yeah. Okay. You're a real buddy. It gets deep like that. So, but that's what I'd recommend for people to do is understand the phenomena, the individual being, how to communicate with it. And it's not just what to say, it's how to present yourself.
Yeah.
You present yourself as a facilitator, not as the victim. Or get your shit out of my fucking bedroom, motherfucker. No, they love that angry, emotional stuff.
Absolutely.
So you'll just learn about how to deal with these kinds of entities and talk to them, and you can talk yourself out of that relationship. It will leave, and you can always use strength of imagining. You can imagine other sentinels coming in and grabbing the entity and take them. There's all kinds of strategies. Find a better partner, a playmate than you. There's all kinds of strategies. So
one of the things I'll add to the list is that a lot of people tend to attract the incubus and succubus by what they fantasize about. And it can be innocent. They just go to bed and while playing with themselves or just like throughout the day, they create a scenario. Oh, it's like my own paradise island or something and a resort and we just had this thing. People watch movies, people read books, and they can visualize stuff, they can think about it, they have intentions of what they want to experience, they recreate the scenarios with them being in someone else's place. And that little fantasy, you're a creator being, with your intentions and imagination and whatever, you create that realm, you create the beings, you place yourself in that reality, that whole experience and scenario you just wrote up or read about and really liked and wanted to experience and like put yourself in someone else's place, now you're experiencing it. Part of you is. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. Do. Like, you satisfy yourself, you go along with your day. That realm is still there. You are still there, experiencing that stuff. And then day by day, every day, you fantasize about something. Another realm, another realm, another realm, another realm, another realm, another realm. You have so many beings coming in, playing with you, that in a few years, you're like, why the hell am I so exhausted? Why do I no longer have visuals? Why this? Why that? Why that? Why that? And just like people wonder, why is my higher self or over self not helping me? Just think how you, as consciousness, created tons of places with another aspect of you in that place and forgot about it and left it be. Sexually abused or just having fun in this cycle, and now that part's like, okay, it's been a million times, I'm done, I want to get out, but please someone help me. That part of you is still praying to get out of that little realm that you've created. So
yeah.
Go on.
And you're the God that created that.
Exactly.
That other self in that little fantasy world with all the fun. Now you're the God of that realm, and that little bit of you is going, please God, please dumbass on earth, please help me. And you like completely forgot about it. Well, is that happening? Did that already happen? And you know, please help me. Bitch, I already forgot about you. Yeah. You have to shout really loud for me to get my attention, because I am so done treating your dumb ass on earth. You're just going to leave me here? Well, what have you done?
Right?
You know, how many imaginings, fantasies have I had, has an individual had, and they haven't taken the responsibility to like, okay, I'm done here. Everybody back in the bus.
Exactly.
Let's go back. Everybody comes back. Okay, now we're good. Now that's a soul fragment retrieval technique, and that will work. But this is the sort of things humans don't normally know about. All these strategies and techniques and weird things that we're talking about.
And it goes in many scenarios where what you're saying, like, we create a scenario alive and then undoing it. Like, okay, I fantasize about it. It was fun. I got what I wanted. Now you uncreate that fantasy's done. Everyone can come back or go wherever you want as fragments and beings you've invited. But a lot of people in their heads will play a victim scenario of, oh, I want to die. So they imagine being hit by the car and then someone cares about them. Like, people will have certain needs or cravings, like wanting to be acknowledged, wanting the attention. I want to see if that person really cares for me, and how would they react if this has happened? And they create tons of the scenarios where there is a certain story in the background that they've played in their mind and they let go of, as in like, okay, like, how many negative scenarios have you created where you wanted to assume how someone else would react, and then you're like, 5 minutes later of creating a negative ass scenario of you suffering and someone in the end saying, oh my god, sweetie, are you okay? And you're like, like, you've been suffering and hit by the car and something else has happened, and at the end you got that little thing. But you've just created like an endless story of negative stuff happening to you day after day after day. And that stuff is in the background. It's like as if you're writing the story and script of your life into the future. You're constantly creating negative stories that at some point, they're manifesting. Why am I having constant bad luck and stuff? Well, bitch, you've been writing about it.
Exactly.
So.
That reminds me of something I was thinking about this morning. There's the idea that astrology, when you really look into it, how things align in your houses and your constellations and all that stuff, it does a real good job of telling your life story. So it was so good in my life story. I go, whoa, I'm gonna have to rethink astrology, because I thought, wow, fuck astrology, that's bullshit. But okay, so it's all about the planets and the constellations and the stars and all that stuff. Mother Earth, Gaia, is a consciousness. The sun is conscious, is a conscious being. So every star and every planet and its location in space and time is consciousness that has influenced my life when I chose the moment to be born and the location to be born in. It all fits together. I go, okay, is this part of the grand scheme of writing one's life script and soul contract plays a part in this vastly complex thing of writing a life script? And I go, yeah, it must. But well, why would Venus in retrograde or something like that in my fourth house be affecting me, or why would I feel the effects of that and it'd be predictably correct if you do the star charts? Why is that happening? Well, the only way I could sort it out is the consciousness that is in each planet is an aspect of my own consciousness. I am all of this. And I'm playing little me on Earth being born as this particular human being. But, but do that a billion, 6 or 7, 8 billion times. And this is the vastness of the consciousness that I am, choosing to be me here, but still all the stuff will come into play and be an accurate prediction. With that said, am I destined to a life of whatever because of, am I a cause over my star charts and predictions of astrology, or am I the effect? And that would be where we have each the opportunity to rewrite the script. And this is back to what you were saying. We're thinking all shit all day long, and we're literally rewriting our scripts moment by moment, and it keeps changing. So you get all into your sexual fantasies and this, that, and the other thing, and then you get mad at somebody, and oh man, the fantasy of being an assassin, for the good guys, who hasn't done that? Raise your hand. I'm the only one who raises my hand. I go, oops. Anyway, we're rewriting these scripts all the time, and it comes into play in such a way that our life manifests just the way it is. But we are ultimately responsible for all that incubus, succubus, sex targeting. I'm not saying it's like it's your fault, but it is.
Yeah.
It's just part of the challenge of being human and sorting all this stuff out. This is an incredibly complex experience here. Yeah, I could keep going.
That's all good. So, with all that, I'll just mention, if someone here who's watching would like to get a free live psychic reading with Rich and I, write me an email. In the email, share your name, send me your photo and a story, like stuff that you've been through, some of the hardships, and your interest. Like, are you interested in your soul family, past lives? Why are you here on Earth? Why are you being targeted? Why are you going through some hardships? Stuff like that. Like, whatever your interests are, your story, leave me that. I will look through the email on my phone, so no one will see your text. I will read through it, and then, with your allowance, I will read the story live. I will not show your photo. I don't have to say your name, but you can leave a nickname so that we would know who we're talking to, and then I will do the reading, which will help me out and fill out the details and translate what I'm saying, because sometimes I'm just like seeing a lot and I'm just trying to put things in perspective, and it's kind of hard. But while people will be writing me in emails, Rich and I will go through some of the questions. So, Rich, yeah, go on.
To be clear, right now, if you're watching this right now, pull up an email and start telling your story and find a fucking picture of yourself and send it right now, because we're doing this now live, not like later. Okay, right fucking now. Okay. To be clear, go ahead.
Right, go on. And yeah, while people will be writing to us, we're gonna answer some of the questions. So Madame is asking, have you guys been through the Lacerta files?
Yeah, Lacerta files, yeah.
Lacerta, okay. Well, I don't know English.
It's the lizard lady. Now, it's a story of there's different kind of reptilians, right? And these are the reptilians that live in Earth, are part of Earth. They're not like considered aliens, but they're not the regressive ET. Anyway, Lacerta is a researcher, inner Earth or deep underground, comes up, interacts with humanity, writes a lot of dialogue back and forth with her contact. They call it the Lacerta files. It's a really great read. It seems legit to me, but here's the thing about reality. It's a story. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. What matters is you believe it's true or not. Because it could be as true as fuck. If you don't believe it, it's not gonna work for you or against you. It's just gonna piss you off or something. But it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If you believe it, you're gonna be the effect of it. You're gonna love it or you're gonna fucking hate it. You're gonna be confused about it. You're gonna be enlightened about it. It doesn't matter the truth of it. And then it gets down to what is true, what is real, what is true. This is just a belief system territory, and we're manifesting this matrix with a consensus reality. So if you read or get engaged with those certifiles and you go, is that true or not? Fuck, don't even fucking ask. Ask, do I like it or not? Is it working for me? And is that a good thing? Yeah, okay. So, okay, now you want to find other people that agree with you that it's true. So now, no, I believe it's true, man. I don't think it's bullshit. Oh, me too. Okay, so two of us agree. And if you get enough people, if you need to be convinced that it's true, there's no such thing. But you got enough people going, yeah, that's legit. That's legit. And you talk to this expert and that expert and this ET contactee and all that other stuff. And now you're convinced yourself that shit's real, man. Good for you. You don't have to go that far. I mean, it sounds good. You don't have to go that far. I used to have to go that far. I've been through all these philosophies, not all of them, but a lot of different philosophies over the years. And it used to be a mind fuck because you get two different philosophies or stories and you love them both and they conflict. And they both sound like fucking experts and you're trustworthy, you're confident in both of them. And now they conflict. And now you're back in a fucking shitstorm in your head. But yeah, the certifiles, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and I will just buy 2 cents on it as well. Like you're saying, Rich, at the end of the day, it's kind of all true. And there is no one grand truth or one grand lie. It's more like everything exists. With what matters is what you choose to believe in currently right now. Because every day with the information we encounter, with our changes, with our values, as we change, like our beliefs can change in an instant. And whatever you believed in yesterday, it might change today. So that relativity where you allow yourself to change, you allow your point of view to change and say like, hey, well, just stop my thing anymore. My mind's changed. That is no longer the truth for me, personally. If someone else believes it, good for you, like whatever. But yeah, it's all about what you choose to look at. Ashmore, coming back to the subject we were talking about when we were talking about walk-ins and slam-ins and ETs having their consciousness shift into someone else's space, Ashmore was asking, can it be as simple as a reptilian, like as you being a reptilian in the previous life?
It could. Yeah. You know, you could be a reptilian in your previous life. Absolutely. Who wasn't a reptilian in your previous life?
Yeah.
Which previous life? Yeah. But yeah, it's possible. That it could be. And you really are a reptilian, but you changed. Now, see, here's the thing about, was I a reptilian in the previous life? There's two ways. Let's break that question out more detailed, and it becomes two questions. Because was I the consciousness that I am living in a reptilian body in a previous life? Okay. That's different from was I a reptilian? Okay. Now, the other idea is that, well, if this is the case, if the answer to the first question is yes, like, was I a consciousness in a reptilian body in a previous life? Yeah. You could say no, you know, Agvila and I could look into that for you, and yes or no. But if it's yes, now, you're in a human body now. Does that mean you're a reptilian in a human body? Not necessarily. If you believe that you're a consciousness occupying a reptilian body or a gray body or a mantis body or any other kind of form, do you see yourself as the consciousness playing the game of being a giant spider or a reptilian? Or are you identifying with the culture, the mindset, the beingness that you and I and most people believe in, these evil reptilians that eat babies and control and dominate the world? That's a whole dark mindset. Okay. So that's the consciousness that is being reptilian. So now this, if you're being this kind of reptilian in consciousness, you can leave the reptilian body, live in a lot of different human bodies, including right now, you could be a reptilian in a human body. It's the consciousness that you are has a preference for the identity of being reptilian, but you're in a human body. Different from being a consciousness. Well, yeah, I used to be in a reptilian body. I played the game. I got involved. You know, it was fun. It was weird. It was different. And I did it for a lot. But now I got bored with that, or I switched sides. And then I'm playing human. I was a dog for a while. That was fun. I was a horse once. Dog's fun. Horse not so much fun. Okay, now I'm human. And you're fine. So it's, what are you being right now? Are you being a human? In a human body, you're being a reptilian, you're being an Irma, you're being a cat, you're being a dog, you're being, you just you can tell, easy test.
Right.
You know, you get a little string and you put on, you know, catnip, and if you go crazy for it, you're probably Irma. If you put a hamburger on there and you sky, or if you go, whoa, you're probably a dog. Okay. If you put little baby fingers, and you just go for it, you're probably reptilian. That's a quick test.
All right, so with it, like I said, we're going to do some free psychic scans. Those that haven't heard about it, if you want one, write me an email, AkvileSava@yahoo.com. Share your name, a photo, your backstory, some of your interests, stuff like that, and we'll do the reading. We have a few people who wrote already, so I'll take my precious time reading it. Well, we have wonderful person, super beautiful girl. So we're gonna look into what her case is, her background and stuff, whatever comes up, go from there. I'll take my time. One thing is reading with a little bit dyslexic thing, but yeah, Rich will support me, so we'll go from there. Yeah. So we have Adita. She's one of your viewers currently, and she's saying, as a kid, I had some paranormal experiences, like seeing spirits in my dream state. I'd get scared by most of them all the time. I'd show them love, but they'd escape, so I'd left confused. I also had a traumatic childhood because of my father, emotional and physical abuse. I guess I was more open to those psychic abilities as a child, but with time I closed them off due to trauma. When I became adolescent, I started questioning life and searching for a meaning. I got more interested in spiritual topics and had some more paranormal experiences again. I started having nightmares, like being drawn to the astral realm and getting tortured there, etc. Meanwhile, the injustice in the world hurt me so much I wanted to stand against it. I almost ended up in jail at 17 because I joined the protests against the government for the worker rights, women rights. There were massive arrestments back then. I wasn't sent to jail, but this process left me in a big disappointment and sadness, and I just wanted to be the voice of who couldn't and help myself and people. I now feel like whenever I try to raise my voice for injustice, I get silenced by one thing or another. I sometimes feel like I'm very deep under a cold, dark ocean, and I'm too naive for this place. I had suicidal thoughts a lot, but I just couldn't do it for some reason. I never felt like I belonged to this place in the first place. I always felt more connected to magic, nature, animals, fairies, mermaid, dragons, and other worlds. I guess that's why I couldn't bond with anyone truly here, so I felt alone most of the time. Following my curiosity, I discovered amazing things like multiverse, consciousness manifesting, out-of-body experiences. I had some accidental reality shifts in 2021, and last time I visualized the shift, my sight changed and I saw something attacking me. Since then I couldn't visualize. I came close to have out-of-body experiences, but couldn't fully shift. I really want to be able to do it intentionally so I can be free from this place and discover. I'm really curious about my past story, what's going on behind the scenes. If my scan is too hard, it's okay, you can pass on me. I don't want you to tire or anything. There's a bit more, but it's more for personal stuff, so that's okay. Whew, that's a lot. It's interesting because, like, just reading the story, I get a lot of flashes of what's going on, so I'm just gonna mention some of the things I saw. and then we can look deeper into the details, and Rich can fill me up with more info. First things is 20 and back. Quite a few instances. First thing that stands out is like age of 3, 5, 7. Like these are the bigger ones. SSP, my lab. I'm just like writing key points, stuff to look at currently. What else? A lot of past life traumas. With repetitive themes of trying to help out people and the masses and stand for injustice, but being silenced or being taken down and unable to defend and protect, and it's kind of like just things happening against you. So there's that. I would say like astral clones. And the scenarios of more like fake lifetime simulations, as well as just experiencing stuff where you know you're acting against your own free will, but you're being threatened. In a way, we're gonna kill someone you love or care about if you don't do this. So you're forced to go out of your way to get the things done. And in the end, they have lied, they kill someone you love, they destroy the world that, you know, they threatened and kind of like promised, hey, if you do this, we're gonna keep it safe or not touch it, but then they still go against their way, kind of thing. So there's just like a lot of pictures I'm seeing currently. So if you have any insights, Rich, you can tell, but then we can go into the details because there's a lot. This person is amazing, but there's just so much in the background that I think we should talk about.
Yeah. Okay, I will. But first of all, the person that wrote, you can share in another email. One of the several things, the many things if you want, you can share. Hey, I'm particularly interested in blah blah. You don't have to do that, but if you do that, that might help. Meantime, we're just going to talk about what's going on. So let me let me start out with Akvile sees so much. And the reality is so intense. We oftentimes ask, do you want the soft version or the hard version? And so we ask this because we don't want to give you too much, too fast, too hard. But if you think about, and right now we're kind of killing time while our viewers, looking and making notes. But we have millions of lifetimes doing all kinds of things in all kinds of planes and densities. Okay. So in this one lifetime now, what you've experienced as injustices and trying to be the voice for people and being shut down and being attacked and targeted, and your ability to consciousness shift and reality shift, you're a player. You are really involved in the games of life with ability, awareness, and an understanding. And though you had to start from scratch when you were born into this life, you got up to speed really fast, and now you're a target really fast. And you're so incredibly powerful that things are coming at you from every direction. But it happens to everybody, but most people aren't, pushing the bad boys buttons so much. But a person like you is. And so Akvile can see the different things that is being used against you, or your own mind phenomena of being, a memory being triggered and stuff and bleed through, and all this stuff is all swirling around, and this is the sort of things Akvile can see. So, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so first things first, like, it's usually not necessarily a chronological order of things, but I'll just start with past lives because there's a lot of reasons why you're here on Earth, and a lot of things that has built up over the past that's been used against you to get you here. In the past, I've made some videos and wrote articles on a few races called Trucions. I'll just get the picture here so that people could see it. No, this is my Sodi Vegas later on. Yeah. So Trucian race. If you would think humanoid body or just an outline filled with the universe, kind of like similar picture I have here. Rich, if you turn on live stream or my website, you'll see it as well. I just brought it up for people to see it. So yeah, just saying.
Okay. Yeah,
But basically, there is a past life where you were a Trucian, and you've been helping out a lot of people. Trucian creates portals, creates stargates. A lot of times in the 3D, it is used by many groups. In some cases, they act consciously, themselves willingly, wanting to help out the world, where people are being trapped and attacked. You go in, you stand out with, okay, the world's attacked, I will come get everyone and get them out to safety. Trucian also works like a safe haven, where it's the world within. And I don't usually have the best explanation for it, but think of like micro and macro. When you look at the human body, on a macro level, you look outside and there's the whole universe outside of you. But if you look within, the little bacteria within our body, if you would look at the gut, if you would look what's going on within, there's just so much life in the physical body that we have that if we look at the Trucian can go to the worlds to help beings, but Trucian can also store beings, like the consciousness within, and have them like create this little world, a realm for people to stay and be protected. Aditya, you have worked as a Trucian, but at the same time, while most Trucians have the role of going into a place and helping someone willingly, consciously, you have been used by groups to more like it's like I don't know how to explain it properly, but there's a fake story of the world's attacked, we need to save people, and that is like the casual rule that the Trucian will have to protect and to save. You accept that you will go into a realm and help beings, but that was the fake story, and they used you to harvest consciousness and use you as a soul trap machine, where they get a bunch of beings within you, and it's not being saved, it's being extracted, but now beings are captured, they cannot get out, they're stuck, and there's a lot of like fragmentation of consciousness where beings are being blended like in a minced meat machine kind of thing. So a lot of beings have their perception change to the point where they become vulnerable. The consciousness can only be trapped if the consciousness believes that I have a body, like I identify as something and I am this, so you put yourself in a frame or a vessel, and then you create a perception or a belief that, oh, I am stuck, I can't move, I can't get out of here. The moment you start believing things like that, you create a perception and life that you no longer have a superpower, your consciousness no longer has an ability to shift and get out freely, you have a perception of being trapped, and groups have used you to extract beings, trap them, to limit their perception, to limit the consciousness and trap them and put them on Earth. And for that, like, there's a lot of guilt. And at the same time, people viewing you as the bad guy. And there's this contradictory to where you want to save someone, and you've been used to capture someone and trap them. And there's like a lot of resentment and guilt and hating self to the point where you yourself decide that I will no longer use my superpowers and abilities to help someone else. And it's kind of like that power you've had to create and manifest, you take it away because you've hurt someone and it scared you and you're feeling bad about it. And it's like, all the love that can help and cure, I will no longer use it. And you like reject it. So there's this massive blockage for you as regards your ability to consciousness shift, as regards to communicate with the consciousness, to like all this freedom, like, and things that like we could do. There's a lot of self-suppression there. I'll go deeper, but Rich will have some insights on that as well, and maybe he will translate what I'm saying into better words.
Wow, that's deep, Akvile. Well done. The phenomena, let's talk about the Trucian phenomena. It's like, it's the outline of a body. But when you look into it, you see stars, you see a universe. So in consciousness, it's a portal. We are not things. We imagine and create things, and then we identify with the things we create. Even I'm a point of view. I'm a consciousness, but I choose to have a point of view. Now, I can view things from one point. Okay, so this is you viewing the world, and things got wild and crazy, so you got caught and used. But you're able to view the world or the universe without being something. But by consideration, you are considering yourself the portal, and somebody looks at you, they will see an entire universe within you, right? So it's a phenomenon. A lot of different beings can do this, and the multiverse is so vast, and so many different kinds of universes and belief system territories. This is not unusual. But okay, so this is what you choose to be. But now other beings see you as a trucion. So they see they what they're seeing is like a portal into another universe. It's like a reality shift. So the nature of your being, loving and helping and all this, your energy signature is safe and secure. So when beings on a planet need help, they need to bail because they're being taken over by the dark side or bad war or something, you can help them escape. So they might drop their physical bodies, but now they're in an energy spirit body, a second body, and they have actually consider themselves to be an energy essence, like a light, you know, the glowy light. This is my aura, this is my second body, my energy body, right? That's not who a consciousness really is, but this is what they're considering themselves to be. So as this, their body, energy, they can go into a safer universe through you, the portal that you are, and you're like imagining the entire universe safe. And now beings will go in, all right? So this is your way of helping. Well, the bad guys get a hold of you and compromise you. And once these beings come into you, into your universe, you're into your space, your consciousness that is the universe, there's planets and all these beings. Instead of finding a nice, pleasant, safe planet with their population of loving beings, they are now compromised, grabbed up, and used by the dark side. And they literally will take thousands of beings and squish them together, pack them in tightly. All these the beings themselves think they're energy essence, and the bad guys can control the energy essence through high tech and different ways. Now you've made this dense, and the two consciousnesses is like two beings being in the same head. They think in the same thoughts together telepathically. You do that for about 1,000 years, and you forget your own identity, and you become this composite beingness of thousands, right? So this is what the bad boys have been having you do. That's the short story. But
yeah, and also there's this side effect of being a Trucian where you have the reputation of someone who will create portals and start like stargates so they can be saved or they can travel. So a lot of beings know that they can come to you, the consciousness that you are, and they will be helped. They'll be able to travel, they'll find safe haven and stuff. And you can imagine this a human taxi where they come to you to be picked up and helped or to travel somewhere. So it's like you constantly attract beings either in the need of help or saving. And it's like entities. They jump from people to you. You become like a magnet, and you will take someone else's crap because those entities, not all of those little beings are here purposely trying to hurt someone. They have been created and doing it against their own free will. They're lost and they're looking for help. Sometimes these beings are like just like looking for someone to be aware of them so that they could find their way out. And it's like if they're hanging around the person and they're lost, they're trapped, like have this identity, oh, I can't get out of here. I'm trapped. I feel like I'm grounded. I cannot go anywhere. You know, like a lot of the different beliefs, those beings, entities jump from other people to you. You, like a magnet, attract them. You will also attract people and be their catalyst and create this nexus point where someone can be really traumatized. They can be narcissistic. They can have issues in life. They will meet you. And naturally, while you attract trouble, but they're just messed up people. You will do everything out of your heart and kindness to help them out, give all of yourself to someone else so that they would change. You create this nexus point in their life while after meeting you, someone who's terrible has now success in life, and they heal or just have many changes. And even in your family, you might notice that a lot of people might have a hard time, or they might do negative things, but they're succeeding while you're trying to do the opposite, and the opposite is happening to you. You're giving your all to help, to do stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, you're blamed, you're guilty, you're not good enough, you're bad, and all this stuff. So there's a lot of attacks in that kind of way, but it's also by nature, like, we would have to revoke that reputation or the role of playing a Trucian that I'm here to help, and I will give you a free ride, and I will teleport to some other place. Like, as a consciousness, we have to pronounce and say that, like, hey, while I had those abilities, I was able to do that, like I was able to get you out, but now I no longer want to play that role. If I choose to do it consciously, I will, but no longer jump into my space expecting that you'll be saved, so that you would not start attracting all kinds of entities that will be harming you 24/7. So, there's that. There's a whole lot more. Rich, anything else to add, or should I just continue with what I'm seeing?
No, I think that's pretty good on the holy fuck, I'm a Trucian, I got all these entities. I think that was enough of that.
Okay, so after being a Trucian, and it's not necessarily the chronological order, but like lifetimes you've had. Also seeing a Golden Crown race. I'm gonna just again share a little blog I wrote about them. You can see some of their looks, some of the personalities. You can check it out on my website if you want more details. But basically, you've had this axis of more like a consciousness that in the body I wrote about, like a humanoid looking being, 5 to 8 feet tall, 2 legs, 2 arms, ice white pure, kind of like Egyptian looking chin, skin is kind of hard, plastic, silicone like, yada yada yada. Doesn't matter about the look, well for me I don't care, but anyway, as beings, it's like you have this access to information. I've talked about angiobarsis, I've talked about Akashic records. It's like, as a consciousness, you have this access to libraries of info about people, about beings, about locations, about places. You just have this knowingness, and Golden Crown race usually tries to give that information to someone who's craving for answers, for understanding. So a lot of times throughout, like let's say if we would look at Earth, people are walking down and they have like, okay, I want to find my goal, I want something to do, I want inspiration to get something done. And all of a sudden this knowingness comes, this information that is life-changing, something that they might have been craving for to change, to get better, to learn. Golden Crown race will give that information as guidance, and some people like, hey, I got an inspiration, or I got an idea. But no, a lot of times we are being accessed by the Golden Crown, and they're sharing that stuff to help us out. It's like, even if you would think of Nikola Tesla, who would astral project and go into other places and talk with beings and get info to create the tech, like he was given the information. A lot of times, like, there are beings who can share stuff where we get insights and we can change. So Golden Race does exactly that. With you, on a similar note of what happened previously, you have been used by the other group. And again, it's that kind of thing like, oh, we're gonna help you connect with a realm where you can help people, teach them, help them to, like, that there's that evolution or that change of mind where they can get better or grow faster, and you're like, sure thing, I'll help them out, I'll change their mindset, I'll give them stuff so that they could work on themselves. But instead, they used you as a radio to give the information, but the info given, it's like they were able to, and I don't know how to say it properly, it's like hypnotizing you to where you yourself cannot decipher the info given to you that's going through you to the other population. And now those beings are getting false information where they start buying into fake realities or belief systems that are limiting and actually causing the whole planet. It's like straightly accessed, and everyone has this God talking to them, and they have this understanding coming up to them, but it's being used in a manipulative way to destroy, to alter, to use massive or like collective consciousness, so to speak, to alter events in a negative way, where hundreds of thousands of people tune in to one reality and all of them try to change certain events for the negative. They're like, oh, well, reptilians are considered good and they're saving the world and they're doing this, and now we have hundreds of thousands of people consciousness shifting, doing stuff, but they've been brainwashed and actually use it on us like as just, I don't know, you were playing chess and those first soldiers on the line.
Pawns.
Yeah, pawns. So yeah, like just use as pawns. So like, again, there's a part where through you, someone else is able to manipulate, and now you yourself is like, I have been used, my voice, to share info, to give, is now used for the negative, I should not talk anymore. Whenever you want to share, whenever you want to give, there's this closing up because what if I'm going to be used? What if they're going to access me again? What if? And you close down that ability to even express yourself. Whatever you want to say now, you're keeping it inside and it's killing you because you want to fight, you want to help, and there's that fear of being taken over again. So there's correlations with what you wrote about your life and like the protest and standing up for injustice, and at the same time, other groups have used you in past where now it's creating the fear. And what happened in this life, it triggers the past event that now amplifies your feeling states, and there's this bleed-through effect that's making like your decisions to keep it down, keep it to yourself, not speak out, kind of like now it's like more than ever, like on steroids, so to speak. So there's that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you. So her this lifetime activities, if you had chosen to take a vacation and not follow your passion or what you're about, you may not have triggered this stuff. But just the activities of doing what you do, the protest, for example, wanting to help, and you're eager to learn, this stuff can trigger this past life trauma. Some people, so we all have past life traumas like this, but maybe not exactly like this, but they don't always get triggered. It's what gets triggered is what makes it challenging in this world. And the fix is to destimulate the trigger, whatever triggered it, get it to release one way or another. And that can be a challenge, but that's also how we consider spiritual growth and development. The various techniques and methods we use, whether it's refocusing attention, or meditating or breath work or anything else. So that's what we're seeing here. And what Akvile is picking up is not just past life stuff, but your parallel activities, so to speak, what you're doing in other realms and what you have done, and the nature of your being.
And we could like focus on an incident, inability to talk or fighting for the injustice, standing up for people, like to protect them, those that will not do it for themselves. And we could look at similar events where there is a realm and you have played various different roles. It's like there's a king and you're his advisor, and someone else is trying to deceive and kill him and trying to tell the king the truth, but he doesn't believe you because he has someone else telling him stuff, and that person has an influence, and then the king gets killed, and people are like, well, the advisor should have known, so you get blamed for the death, even though you've been sharing the truth. So even while you did your thing, you were found guilty. There are a lot of variations where we have a realm, there's something going on, and you have various roles. Just a normal person, or the queen of the country or something, like we have, again, like lots of different variations and the incidents where we could track back, but I'm just saying a lot has been built up. Besides all that, well, there's a lot of traumatic stuff. I think we should look at some positives as well. You have other aspects where you've had the role as an Irma, where you've been with the Aldebaran race, where you've been like, again, Aldebaran are like more like plant-like, elf-like humanoid beings. So imagine humanoid elf, but it's plant-like, tree-like, like brute, and it has more of like healing abilities, super in touch with nature. So it's like you can get your roots into the nature and communicate with every single being on the planet. And it's like you connect with the trees, and you can send messages to the people. You can, like, how should I say, like, it's like every tree on Earth has a connection, and there's this, like, almost like a nervous system network where you can tune in, send info, and feel everyone, feel every single being on the planet, feel how they're feeling, feel what, you know, they're experiencing, what they're thinking, and through that you can connect to them, send them info, give them energy, heal them, or have this understanding about people and what's currently being needed, so you could provide. It's more of your key focuses. You've been with the Tohan race. I've talked about it in the past in some videos, but it's more like, think of like an energy ball, a wisp. It's just the energy, but these beings gather in clusters, and they have a specific emotion. So throughout, like, depending on the emotion and the feeling state and the intention, their colors change. Whenever they gather in one cluster, it gets bigger. And it's like they used to send that energy, feeling state, thought to someone to heal, to help them. So if someone's feeling depressed, but you know that if that person had a different feeling state or a thought, they would get this nexus point in their life, and they would change, and they would start creating, providing, doing, like, acting as what their purpose is. So you as a Tohan would provide that. You would gather in group, locate beings, more like we call lions, those that are awake, those that are able to fight, those that are aware of the info that's needed, and you would focus on those beings and look at what their needs are so that you could help them, support them, and become like an amplifier to a guitar or an instrument. You can play a simple guitar and here's that, but when you have an amplifier, you can put it really loud and support, like, give it all kinds of, you know, vibes and alters, and like just a different sound. So you are that. You're an amplifier. You look at what being needs and you provide that info. So there's a lot to that. And I would say, like, these are your core strengths. You are, like, in the astral, diplomatic. You're very active. You're fighting for the rise, like as with Irma's. And I'm seeing, like, there's a lot of connections with Pleiadians and Taygetans and Lyrans, and you're playing with the Galactic Federation, again, being politically active, standing out for, like, again, the things you're doing here on Earth, you're doing out there, a bit more successfully. You're not being as attacked this year, but there's a lot. So there's that. Rich can fill out more details if you have more insights, and I can just keep on going. But yeah.
No, you just keep on going. Yeah, you're doing great. Yes, plenty of detail there. Yeah.
So besides that, I mentioned some of the stuff about 20 and back and stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We could go into a lot of things that are negative, a lot of different stories, but with the stuff we've just, like, provided you, let's say some of the looks into your past lives or other aspects that are currently active and playing and things that have been happening to you, what can you do with this info? How can you help yourself? Let's focus on this a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good thing. I got to take a quick little break.
I'll
be right back.
Yeah.
And then we can focus on that. Okay.
So, a few minute break on that. I'll fill in more details, I guess, before Rich comes back as to what's been happening to you. You also have, Adita, you also have some astral clones where, think of this, you're traveling and let's say physical body falls asleep, or you try to get out of body, and your astral body is being captured or put in this controlled dream state, to where you might think, oh, it's a dream and I'm doing stuff, but what you're experiencing, it is an overlay created that would provide you a story and make you feel safe. You drop your guard, considering it's just a dream, just an experience, but actually, that overlay is to hypnotize you. It's like frosting on a cake, but the cake really is, and the true story is that you've been captured and your energy is being siphoned. And I'm seeing, like, you have a few astral clones that are energetically targeted in a way of, like, think of like energy rod going and piercing your body. And specifically for you, I'm seeing the neck being targeted, your stomach area. If we would talk about, you know, being a woman, your woman organs, your girly parts, your footsies is like keeping you grounded, so you physically might face more issues there, where hard to digest, maybe menstrual cycle is super painful, stomach issues, stuff like that, like bloating or irregular bowel movements, stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, just turn off the video, whatever. Good. What else? As regard the neck, there is some connection to, like, as regards communication, but you might also have this feeling state where you want to talk and you have something to say, and it's like Eminem is rapping, he opens his mouth but the words won't come out. You want to talk and it sticks here in your throat and you can't say it, and it's like you might have communication with people where you want to speak up, where you want to be honest, where you want to share how you feel, what you feel, you want to express yourself, and you know it would change everything. If that person would understand you, if you could just say that one thing and they look from your perspective, whatever they're assuming, they would look from your perspective and like, hey, I never thought this about you. Thank you for sharing. But that key phrase that would change everything, it's stuck here. And it's just so hard to be true and share that stuff. No matter how much you want to say, it just won't come out. So there's that. And I'll add that, like, as Rich is back and just a few of the things I shared, a few things that you could do with those astral clones and some of the things I mentioned, if you feel it to yourself. Imagine, like, okay, well, there's a thing I might feel in my throat, and, like, if we're talking about, like, astral clones, then imagine or think about that body and that energy rod piercing, and you just, like, imagine as if you're taking that rod or cable and you're just pulling it out, and or you're just, like, uncreating it. It's no longer there. You can even, like, use your hand to scan your body for the problems. Like, physically, you use your hand and you go, like, okay, well, there's a bit more here, so there's information being stopped, or you don't have as easy access as you would like, even like memories to your past lives, even the knowingness, all the tools you have and know of, it's already, everything's within you. You don't need to ask or anyone else. But it's like that stuff is being stopped, and it's kind of like, I have to have someone else help me or I will not succeed in life. And there's like a lot of these background beliefs or core, or like, let's say, soul agreements that are limiting you, but it's also like an overlay of, like, to make you feel smaller, to make you feel like you cannot do stuff yourself. Like, you have all the tools. So you're scanning, like, okay, well, there's that stuff here. Throat stuff, I already pulled it out. You're checking your chest and stuff, like, okay, my stomach. So whatever, like, you have all the tools, so you go with the energy, whatever might feel heavier, denser, you're just going through your body, and it feels like your hand just pops, like there's a bit more pressure here. Well, there's something there. And you ask, like, okay, well, what is it? And the first thought you get is the answer. So there's that. This energy clearing, however you might identify those things. Astral clones, if you feel like, you're being trapped or there's something that's being, like, messed with, you can uncreate the astral clones. You don't need them. You have aspects that you can tune into at any time, but if there are any parts of you that were created against your own free will and they're using you to harvest you, to mess with you, to have this voodoo doll effect or a bleacher effect, you can remove them. You can undo them. You don't need them. At the same time, all the parts of you that have been messed with, as you remove them, you can have this filter of, like, okay, I just destroyed them, uncreated them, and all the energy that has went out, I run them through the filter where they clean up, where they no longer hold the mass or emotions or attachments, and you allow it to come back to you, where now it is clear, it's healing, it's you, whatever you've let out, it can come back. So there's that. Rich, would you like to share more?
I need a specific issue or target.
Oh, I mean, like,
come up with some brilliant technique or something.
Let's say, let's go back into some of the past lives or aspects that we talked about. The true Seance, the Irma, the Golden Crown, the scenarios where Adita had these parts where she's fighting for something, she wants to share the truth, but she's attacked, and there's this part of suppressing herself, or decisions made to no longer speak up, or being found guilty and stuff like that, like the bleacher effect I've been talking about. Like, just like stuff we've touched, the issues, how would you help the person?
Yeah, one of the easiest things would be soul contracts. looking at the agreements. And they don't have to be just a soul contract level, but agreements. What we agree to becomes our reality. And the story we tell ourselves, and like right now, you're hearing new stories about yourself. You don't have to accept them, you know. But the idea of getting a new story about what's going on gives you context within which you can work a solution. Or if I made some agreements to do some shit for a worthy cause, but it backfired on me, what were those agreements exactly? It's all story, right?
Yeah.
And you go, well, that'd be I agreed that they needed help. I agreed that I failed, and I agreed that I wanted to fix it, and I agreed that I thought these guys were great guys, and then I found out they were bad guys, and you know, I agreed now that they're bad guys. Now I got betrayed. Now I must be stupid. You know, it's like all these agreements, but they are the story in practical terms. It's just a story, but you tell the story about the thing and you find out what you're agreeing to. And now you can literally, consciously revoke those agreements. I no longer agree to that. I no longer believe I was tricked and deceived. I no longer believe I was stupid. I no longer believe I failed. And you go, well, how can I do that when I failed? No, you believe you failed. That's why it's only a failure, because you believe it. You know, it was a game. You know, what you come up with after you revoke the agreements is all fresh and new. You are creating your new reality right here in present time. And there is no past, present, and future. It's all right now. So all that past and stuff that we're sharing with you, it becomes right here. And you're either the effect of it, you're the cause over it, it bothers you, or it doesn't. So all of that happens right now. So sorting out the agreements and just revoking the agreements, like what I shared was like stupid fucking information. That would be just a belief. No, it wasn't. It was fucking brilliant. That fast, you know, I fixed it. But yeah, you're getting the quick and dirty here on the solutions, but doing soul contract revocation and agreement revocation stuff will help. Along those same lines is releasing beliefs. Whatever you believe about these different areas of your life that you're feeling limited in. I believe, I've lost my voice. Yeah, I can't, I don't know why, but you believe, and that makes it so.
Right.
So you can, there's different techniques. You can release the limiting belief, and you can also create new positive beliefs. But yeah, it's a couple of things.
And another thing I'll add is being a Trucian and an empath and caring for people, and just out of nature where you try to fight and stand for those that, cannot do themselves, or the smaller masses, as you care about them, you will attract entities of other people. And you will be that empath, like a sponge, always taking up other people's stuff, where you're feeling pain, let me release it for you. But it's like, instead of releasing it, you take it up all upon yourself. And you're constantly taking, but you are not cleaning yourself enough. Or you're doing the work, but it's like grease clogging the pipes. It stays, and it accumulates over time, and it becomes, bigger, thicker, to the point where what you're doing currently, as regards spiritual work or self-work, it's not giving you as many results as you would like. So unclogging those pipes or cleaning yourself up is like a really important thing, but how would you do that? You might have done it in the past, but I would say like giving the permission for entities and altars and other aspects and fragments and other consciousness pieces and anyone connected, giving them a permission to leave you, to find a place. And it's like, one is like, okay, anyone in my space that does not want to be here, that feels trapped, that feels stuck, that feels lost, that has difficulties, you have my permission to leave, you can go, thank you for being here, thank you for your service, thank you for helping me out, whatever reason you have to stay with me, you're free to go, thank you, I love you, bye. Just saying something like that in your own words, however you feel, that's one thing. You can imagine, think of a reality, a realm, that would be like a safe haven for someone else. And if you have a hard time visualizing, think about writing that fantasy story well, one day there was this little forest, and there's a mountain in the distance, and there's a cabin in the woods, and this world is perfect with a lot of happy, cute little animals, and you're just writing your paragraph about what the world looks like and what it is. And it's like you invite, okay, if there are beings who are stuck here, who are feeling depressed and who would like to be free, I've just created the world for you where you will have all of your needs met, and you give them that invitation to the world you've just imagined, and they can leave you. And you will feel like, this heaviness, stuff that was like pressuring you, leaves. But keep in mind that being a Trucion, where one, you're saving people, you're helping them to travel, but two, you have been used against your own free will to trap someone, so now you have beings that you never wanted to have within your space. You can allow them to leave by creating a world where they will be able to have their full memory, where they can decide from that point of view whatever they want to do and move on, and you clear your reputation from that. And another thing I would look like, there's just a lot. Getting rid of... Yeah, go on, Rich.
About the Trucion, are we still... I have something to say about the
Yeah, go on.
Trucion.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Another way to look at it, especially if you're watching this and you go, well, I'm not a Trucion, some of the other viewers. Imagine this. This system, this physical system of mine, it has a microscopic critters all over it. There's microbes. They're really parasympathetic bacteria. All these kind of separate little entities. Okay. Now imagine each one also has an astral plane. They're all on the astral. Or let's get even smaller into the nanoparticles and the subatomic particles and quantum physics. You get a piece of sentient consciousness that is being a super small microbe sort of thing. It's in this body. But at that level, this body doesn't look like a body anymore. It looks like a vast universe. There's lots of distance between the atom and the electron, or the proton and the electron. There's a vast distance. And at this level of smallness, my own body would look like the Trucion. It's like a metaphor, or it's similar in that way. Now, but I am the Trucion. Now, as a technique, I could say, look, if there are any of you loving, wonderful beings that are in my system, would like to be free, you are free to go. And you can literally imagine giving bacteria, harmful bacteria and germs and virus phenomena, permission to leave your system. And that alone is a spiritual technique that will help release the physical bacteria, but also the energetic or spiritual consciousness that is inhabiting the physical body of the bacteria. Just like I'm inhabiting the physical body, this body, I'm in spirit, I leave. You can allow or let the microbes and the microbacteria leave. And the bodies will just, dissolve and process the way your body physically does. Anyway, it's just another deeper look at the phenomenon.
Yeah, and the last thing I would add is because in a lot of cases where we look at the past or your other aspects that have been, you've been used against your own free will, it's like it creates a reputation where a lot of beings might feel like, hey, you're the bad guy. While you have intentions to save someone, you're being used and they don't know that or they don't see that. And it's like, why is this Trucion trapping others? Oh, it's a bad Trucion. We should get rid of it. So now it's like, while you might try to help and connect with other beings, a lot of what we would consider, oh, well, there's good guys, or, like we would look at the positive races or benevolent races. It's like, you lose their support. And all of a sudden you become this invisible being who is on the side of like, is it good or bad? And a lot of people will choose to like kind of disconnect from you and not provide the help, considering like looking at your past or the information they've gotten you, like so they disconnect from you. You could state or imagine giving that information, providing that info like, hey, I have been targeted, I've been used against my own free will, there's been like a lot of incidents where things I've done, I was under control and I'm sorry. So you say that, and a lot of beings will get a different perception of you. It will change your reputation, where those that might have wanted to help you out but didn't, now will like, hey, okay, she needs help, and we're here for her. So they'll want to connect with you. They'll want to provide help. They want to support you. So I think that would be helpful as well.
Yeah, which brings in the idea of the Ho'oponopono technique. It's a variation of that. Of, you know, look, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you, and thank you for understanding, or thank you for whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do things that will help you. It's just imagining or finding techniques that seem logical to you that would work, and then actually doing those things, because there's so many things that transpire just by what we think and feel about it, and including spiritual cleansing and healing work.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I think we'll be done with this quick scan. Like, it's just a quickie, giving you a little perspective. For the future, if you do any work on yourself, you might want to look into your past, specifically your mom's lineage. And there's some correlation with the Ashkenazi Jews, the karmic transference, a lot of these like curses, black magic stuff being transferred onto you. So where you might feel like you have bad luck, you're being targeted, your reputation, again, you might do healing work, you might want to work with others, but having this pushback and mistrust and other stuff, there's a lot of things in the background that I see, but anyway, it's a quickie. We can always go much deeper, but hopefully this was of any use for you. And yeah, that's about it for this read. Thank you, Adita.
Wow. Thank you, Akvile. That was amazing. Yeah.
There's a lot of those.
Reality is so deep, and a person doesn't have to look at it this deep or understand it the way that Akvile and I do.
Absolutely.
So whatever level of the game you're at, the idea would be to improve conditions. And so it's the story that you understand about your life and this reality matters. And so as you look at this story, you're trying to learn more about the story that you believe is the true story, not some bullshit, because it's only bullshit because it doesn't fit within your paradigm. So you get, okay, now this is happening, okay, but yeah, now, well, how do I do this? And now you're looking for solutions to the story that you've come up with, and you find a solution that will work, or you find a solution that didn't work, and you go, why didn't that work? But you're always constantly telling yourself a story. So the idea is to understand enough of the story, and then use techniques that will improve the quality of your life, is a technique that is effective. Now, for a technique to be effective, it has to also do with what you think and feel and believe about the technique or the process or the method, whether it's meditation, deep breathing, energy food, yoga, or any other kind of psychic work. So we always have the opportunity to improve ourselves, and we start with things like what we think, what we feel, and what we believe, and the awareness and consciousness that we are. And then there's the willpower, the determination, and the interest, and the focus. That's all.
And yeah, on the same note, when we look at life, it's like a lot of people are done with this place and they want to get out. So it's like, what use to clear all this crap on this part of you, if it's true to you, instead of just like, fuck it, I want to be done, you know? So instead of looking at clearing all your stuff, there's this fake it till you make it, or you just choose, like, yeah, whatever I decide in past stuff, doesn't matter. It's all about current moment. The personality that you have, the beingness that you have, the identity, you can choose to switch it. You can choose that today, whatever I was, it's no longer truth. You delete that story, you cross it out, and start writing a new story. What's going to be your new archetype? Your key personality that you would like to have, that you would, choose. You are a creator. If this is a game and you choose to play, what kind of character would you like to play? well, this character would have this kind of personality. Maybe if you have a clusterfuck in your house and there's like a lot of dirt and it's just, filled with items, it's like, I would like to be tidy. Good. This character is now tidy. So you make yourself at least a few minutes a day, get up, pick something up, throw it out. Clean up the house, clean a little dirt here and there. But you choose, instead of, oh, well, this aspect that has, issues with cleaning up, now we have to clear past lives so that it would change. No, fuck that whole story, nobody cares. From this moment on, you choose, like, well, from now on, I am no longer into, being dirty. I can start cleaning up. And you just get off your ass and start doing stuff. So, every one of us, if we don't want to clear all that old stuff, who you want to be, developing the personality is like a muscle. You have to work at it every single day, acting as if, but you put in the work. You decide who you want to be, how would you like to act, and every single day you put in a little bit more effort into being that. And it's getting out of your comfort zone, because you're changing the story. It is not how you used to be. It is not how you used to feel, but from now on, you decide that you want to be a different person. You have to work at it. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to act differently, because it's no longer the old story. It's the new one, where you might be more courageous. You might be a bit more outgoing. You might have an easier time communicating. The old story of where your beliefs didn't work and you had a hard time speaking up for yourself, well, fuck that. Become more expressive. And it might be hard, but you start saying, it's so hard to say, but I'm gonna. And you speak through tears and you speak through however hard it is to express yourself, but you say that one thing and you'll feel better. So if looking at a stuff that, oh, I have to solve all that crap, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You just choose to change from this moment on, if it's what you like, and you start behaving differently. But there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there really is. There's so many different dynamics. And you got a person like me, it's like, what's going on here? What was I doing before I got here? Do I want to ask that question from the linear perspective or above time perspective? If it's linear, I'm asking, what am I doing here? What was I doing before? And what am I going to do now? What did I decide to do when I came here? What's that about? Okay, that's linear. Well, because last time, blah, 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 blah. So next time, that's linear time. Okay. You can ask the same question from a higher perspective. And that would be like, we're in all timelines and all reality systems simultaneously. I don't normally do this myself. Don't do what I do what I preach. But no, you can do this. I might give it a shot. It's like, okay, while focusing in on this beingness of this aspect of self, if I am suffering, what am I getting out of that? And how long shall I suffer? And have I suffered long enough? If the idea is to, if you incarnate into a realm of suffering, war, this world is just like completely fucked. It's like really cruel and evil and weird for a lot of people, and it's really hard to manage. But why would a being like you or me from above time choose to experience this kind of phenomena? Not to experience happiness. This is a place of suffering. But it might be to experience the challenge and develop some new skills and abilities on how do I navigate this, or how do I confront and experience this phenomena I've never felt before. I never felt suffering before. This is fun. Anyway, it's an exercise in experience and expansion. Yes, sounds like.
Okay. Well, on a similar note, Rich, I did to say it. I'm truly thankful, Liquid and Rich. I'll definitely work on my assumptions and beliefs, and I'll focus on methods you gave. Everything you said matches. That was too much indeed, and I'm so grateful.
Hey,
That's good.
that's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
If you would like, feel free to write me or us emails. If you would like to share more, if you would like more help, if you would like more details or something, we're here for you. But people go through a lot in this life, and I think like it's really important to find someone to talk about this stuff. People might experience like all kinds of stuff, and you're not crazy for it. I think like finding the group where there's someone who either thinks alike or at least is able to be there, to listen, to understand, to not judge, and to provide that support, like it's just super important.
Yeah. So write anytime.
Yeah.
Questions or thoughts or experiences or more details.
Anyway, that being said, I'll have more work to do, so I'll be wrapping up the stream, and Rich, we're going to be wrapping up this conversation after I wrap up the stream. And yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, thanks for all of your questions. There has been plenty, but like we've been focusing on the reading, so a lot of things unanswered, but it can be used as future video material to just, different topics and stuff. But yeah, if anyone would like, feel free to tune in. Next time we might do more free readings. Feel free to write us in emails if you have something going on. We're here to help, whether to answer your questions, whether to support you, give you insights, give you tools. Like, we're here for you. So thanks everyone for watching, for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot, everybody. Really appreciate it. Bye.